Dipsea Statistician checking in 46 days before the 111th Dipsea race. So the first thing that we're going to do is check on the results from the 110th Dipsea held last November. So Mark Tatum got his first victory at age 61 after finishing second place 2 years before. He pulled off a pretty narrow victory over two other men in their 60s, Dan King and Brian Pilcher. Edward Owens, in his Dipsea debut, got fourth place from scratch at age 28, with no handicap minutes at all. And Cliff Lentz, who's a perennial top 10 finisher, got fifth place, which is his highest place in a while. Also of note, Darren Banks got sixth place, which is his second highest finish ever. Alex Varner, who has gotten by now most of the single-digit black shirts, got seventh place. Chris Lundy got eighth. Gary Gellin got ninth. And Paddy O'Leary, in his debut in the invitational section, got 10th place. Also, definitely of note, Diana Fitzpatrick, former winner, got 11th place. So let's take a look at our head start changes. So in terms of the head starts, this is the biggest change that we've had in handicaps in many years. So men in their 50s and 60s lost a minute. Men from age 52, that is, to age 70. Also, women age 12 to 40 got an extra minute. Men age 19, 26 through 30, and 33 through 37 all got one extra minute. Also, an important note is that now Chris Lundy gains back 1 minute because she's put another year between this year and her victory in 2017. And also Mark Tatum, last year's winner, loses a head start minute for winning last year. And that will be possibly a game changer in this year's results. So now let's take a look at the 111th Dipsea potential things going on. So first thing of note is that in the entrance list, Brian Pilcher, last year's third place finisher and four-time winner, 2009, 2014, 2015, sorry, not 2014, 2009, 2015, 2016, 2019, four-time winner, and also Dan King, last year's second place finisher and his first ever Dipsea, will not be entered this year. So that really leaves us with two clear favorites. Let's take a look at who those are. So examining some stats, if you take a look at what the new handicaps mean, Mark Tatum last year had a clock time of 46:24. So with all these complicated factors, he gets another head start minute for getting 1 year older. He's now 62. However, 62-year-olds have the same head start as last year. And he has a 1 minute penalty. So his new clock time, if we take this year's head start minutes and apply them to his time from last year, that would be 47:24. Then we have to take out second and third place finishers, and that leaves Edward Owens. So Edward Owens gets an unexpected head start minute. So instead of being scratched, he gets 1 minute, which suddenly puts him at 46:48. If we do this process for all the other top finishers, what we'll quickly discover is that there are only two runners with clock times under 48 minutes. And that is Mark Tatum and Edward Owens. And that makes them the two clear favorites for the 111th Dipsea. Owens being the numbers favoring him, which would probably be the first time that the clear favorite in the race has been someone under age 30 in decades. Alex Varner has been favored to do well, placed in the top 2 or 3 for many years, even maybe win, but he's only come about 20 seconds from winning before, but he has never done it. So with Tatum and Owens being the 2 favorites, now let's consider who the other contenders are. Certainly Alex Varner and Cliff Lentz. Clara Peterson could do quite well. Also starting her head start group is Stephanie Howe, who would be a ringer this year. We don't know how she will do in this distance. Obviously, the past 100-mile Western States female champion. Darren Banks, Dominic Bogle, Chris Lundy, Diana Fitzpatrick, and Patty O'Leary. Any of them would be underdogs to win, but could possibly do it. So I want to, before signing off, examine the upsides of Darren Banks, Chris Lundy, and Patty O'Leary. So let's take a look first at Chris Lundy. So Chris Lundy has a long history in the race, starting in 1997 in the runner section, getting 9th and then quickly 2nd in 1999. She's excelled in the race, never won though until 2017. And then the next year, 2018. The following 2 years, she's gotten 4th and 8th places. So if we look at her actual times, we can see that actually the first year she won was not one of her fastest times. Her only time besides 2007 in the last couple decades that it took her more than an hour to run until last year. So last year ran 1:01:24. So if she could match what she ran 3 years ago in 2019 or 4 years ago in 2018, then she's definitely a contender to win if she chops a couple minutes off. Now let's take a look at Patty O'Leary. So Patty O'Leary really impressed people in his debut in 2019 when he ran 50 minutes, 56 seconds from the runner section. Now, some of us do math by taking about 3 minutes off that time to apply it to the invitational section. So he didn't have his best race last year and still placed 10th, running more than a minute slower in invitational. So the question is, can he really run, say, 3 minutes faster than he did in the open section? If he can do that, then he and Owens will have a really good duel all the way to the end. Patty O'Leary definitely would have a chance to take home the win. The third runner I want to look at, an interesting case, is Darren Banks. So 6 years ago, he got 4th place. He'd been climbing up from 28, 27, 12, 4. The last 3 races, not placing quite as high, 12th, 24th, and then 6th. So his time last November was only a little slower than 2018, or a little faster than 2018, and a little bit slower than 2015 and 16. If he can get back to his 2016 form, then Darren Banks is also one who could win the race, although he lost a minute he was supposed to be getting this year. So those are some of the important facts going into predicting season. None of this takes into account people's actual physical shape. I know nothing about how these runners are doing, but it's unusual that the Dipseas are only 7 months apart, so we know somewhat what kind of shape many of them are in because it hasn't been a whole year. At this point, it's only been 5 months since the last Dipsea race. So more to come, possibly some interviews soon, and stay tuned for those. Dipsea Statistician signing off.